So climate, let's keep on subject. 3/4 of Republicans prioritize the economy over the climate, even though the climate will destroy the economy with billions of dollars of losses in virtually every area of our modern life. And 80%, 81% of the world was affected by extreme heat last month, which is a foretelling of what is to come. All of the heat that has been trapped away and stored in the oceans is now being released, and El Nino hasn't even fully kicked in yet. Okay. So what does this all add up? This all adds up to Hell World. Yeah, we'll be in Hell World in about 10 years or less. Full-scale global chaos. Yeah, you know it. And I'm reading these temperature readings that are like off the charts. 10 degrees Celsius above in some region of the Arctic. Was it 10? No, something like that. Several degrees higher. And Argentina and South America, it's supposed to be winter, and it's stupid hot down there, over 100 degrees. Yikes. Yeah, for real. And there are just temperature records. Iran's capital shut down because of extreme heat. Was it their capital or just parts of the country? And that's already happening in the Middle East. Such extreme temperatures, people losing livelihood and food and security, which is going to be a global security risk, to G20 and developed nations. As we continue to butt heads and, don't underestimate Putin's potential use of nuclear-armed weapons in Ukraine. Backing up a bit, the wildfires in Canada were the worst ever, worse than the past 10 years for sure. All that burning of permafrost and is releasing, chemicals and toxic chemicals, viruses, bacteria into the air. It only takes one of those to become, something very serious, unlike COVID, which also was serious, caused over 2 million deaths here in the States. Was that right? We're not prepared to deal with that sort of grief or even collectively come together for, a deadly cold virus or whatever that makes you have to put a diaper on your face. All right. Someone just told me, a woman in 31 just told me yesterday she caught COVID and it was horrible. I mean, just talk to people, talk to the doctors. We can't even, agree. I don't want to talk about separation right now and all that. Keeping back on climate. So the heat dome has moved to South America, and it's supposed to be winter down there. Thousands of fish are turning up dead on, beaches, and penguins. Can't explain why. It may be avian bird flu or maybe some permafrost thawed disease flying in there. Like, we don't know. Either way is that we are a toxic creature who, I'm thinking of this man my age that was pushing a baby down a newborn down the street, a fit-looking guy, and I just, we can't contain it. We can't contain our will to propagate and consume everything in sight. So that's what these environmental channels are all about, is shedding light on that subject, along with trying to cope. There have been a number of suicides in this communities. And what am I turning this back on myself? You hang on. That meeting just dispersed with G20 countries that couldn't agree on anything. Antarctic melt is off the charts again, everything off the charts, and we're just beginning. This is just starting. I'm getting the 2026, 2027 vibe. I'm starting to get it now. I've gotten it for a while. We're gonna see mass panic. Colorado River Basin lost $10 trillion of 10 trillion gallons of water, along with, across the ocean, rivers are flooding and major rains in China. Northern Europe has been spared a little bit of the consequences, but not Southern Europe, obviously, Greece, Italy, so forth. And so what you're all amounting to is, let's get a refresher here, is what we have to do is the impossible mission of a lifetime. You know, I'm thinking this as I'm standing in the donut shop with several 20-something-year-old women. Just remain calm. Nothing is the problem. In a sane world, everyone in that fucking restaurant would turn to me and say, "Huh, you know something we don't. Can you explain the science to us? Can you explain how our future looks? Maybe we want to have a future." But no, I'm completely ignored. And I'm not tripping about that. I want to get into a conversation about masculinity and all that, as it's been pointed out lately. I'm full of self-love. I've gone through my cringe moments to get here, and self-realizations and identity crisis and all that to get to a place where I'm self-loving, and obviously I'm presenting, I'm cool. I'm cool as a cucumber. Like I'm chill. I'm much more emotionally stable. That's what I'm trying to say. But that's not happening. It's completely a psycho world. And this is not just me, it's everybody, all this people on this channel. You experience this daily. What was I saying? Something about how everything's effed. And our solution is, you ready for this? In this decade, you have T-minus less than 5 years. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. Refreeze the Arctic. Put a coolant on top of it and refreeze the loss of ice. Somehow. Refreeze the Antarctic. Paint everything white. Suck over 200 parts per million of CO2 and other greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere. While you're doing that, clean out all the aerosols. Regrow the Amazon. Restore biodiversity. Cool the oceans because they're getting too hot. Does this seem like an impossible task? Because it is. But mainstream wants to make you believe that, and the British Prime Minister, that net zero is possible. He's pushing that while they open more drill sites. Because we were continually relying on coal, fossil fuels, all this for this decade, for the further foreseeable future. Okay, this is what you wanted to hear at 9 in the morning. And on top of all that, maybe introduce the idea of building a giant sun. Now they're talking. The mainstream news goes in a circle about the same solutions. Geoengineering, but we're already doing that. We're destroying the atmosphere. We're completely polluting it and changing it into something hyper doped up. Is like the same cycle of techno solutions. We need to build a big solar panel to reflect sunlight. Was that the thing that popped up a month ago? Yeah, it was. When you follow this, you see the same sort of, mind-numbing indoctrination, propaganda bullshit. A lot of emotions, a lot of information here. There's a collapse meeting tonight, but there's your homework. There's your job. Restore biodiversity, refreeze the Arctic, paint everything white, suck all the carbon out, make sure your babies are not carbon intensive, like that's possible. Get all the cars off the road, reorganize human civilization this decade. This is called being a realist. It's not negative. You look at the situation and you say, nope. Do whatever you want. This is our last decade. Love you, Doomers. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.